Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Be the Change presentation that is hosted. We are hosted by we are hosting by PHE. Sorry, I'm a little stumbling on my words here, but thank you everyone for coming to our presentation. Let me share my screen and we can get started. So welcome to Being a Youth Leader in Health, or the near peer model in health education. Maybe a lot of you don't know what the near peer model is in health education, and this is where we're going to be able to teach you all about it. So let us get started by, I'll give you all a little bit of time to just scan this QR code, and then you can download the Self-See app, which is a digital app developed by the Youth Advisory Board of Peer Health Exchange. And it's really just an app that involves a lot of resources that include mental health resources, emotional, mental, social, emotional, physical health, and all types of discussion forums and ways you can anonymously provide advice, but also be able to ask for advice from our qualified college students that have been trained and that are supporting students every single day. So I'll give you all some time to do this, and then we'll go to the next slide. And then we'll go into introductions and stuff. So this is just really quick. Okay. And this will show up later. So I'm going to change the slide, but this QR code will show up later. So if you want to download it right now, feel free. But if you want to wait until later, we show it again, feel free to download it as well. So we will be going into our icebreakers and introductions. So Pilar, you want to go with the group agreements?
Yes. So before we get into introductions and icebreakers, I want to present you all with the group agreements. So make sure to be present and make sure to extend and presume welcome, speak your truth and the right to pass, suspend judgment, and think big. Make sure to give out a lot of ideas and always start your sentences with yes and, or add on to people's ideas, maintain confidentiality, and be mindful. And think about who's in the space and think before you speak.
So with PHE tradition, does everyone agree with these group agreements? You can feel free to do like the thumbs up reaction, or if your camera's on, I highly recommend if your camera's on, just give a thumbs up. If there's anything you want to add, feel free to put it in the chat and we will keep that in mind as we go on. Thank you everyone who is putting thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. So everyone agrees with these group agreements? Okay, sounds good. We move on. So objectives. So let's each read of our objectives of this presentation. So Pilar, you want to start?
Yes. So participants will learn how to build their own agency and access to health resources and enrich their own health education.
So participants will learn how to effectively advocate for others and themselves as a youth and learning the power of youth voice in the health education and other areas.
The last one is participants will learn how to apply their leadership experiences and knowledge to directly impact their own community. So those are the three things we want you all to take away from this presentation, and hopefully we provide enough information and resources and time for you to ask questions in order to meet all these objectives. So we're going to get started with some fun icebreakers and introductions. So in the chat, if you can put your name, preferred pronouns, and Kayla, you want to continue with explaining it?
Yeah, so you just want to put your name, your pronouns, if you're from an organization. And we have two questions, which is what type of bread you are and what kitchen utensil are you. So if I'm going to go first. So my name is Kayla. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And I'm from Peer Health Exchange. I was on the Youth Advisory Board. And I'm going to answer the bread one. So I think the type of bread I would be sourdough, because it goes so good with soup and I love soup. Like clam chowder is so good. So, and like it's a little sour, but it's good. So that's it.
Yeah, thank you, Kayla. So if anyone wants to put in the chat, you can put in the chat, but we can also have a few people unmute themselves. So I'll go next. My name is Brandon Wynn. My preferred pronouns are he, him, his. The organization position I have, I'm with Peer Health Exchange and I'm a youth advisory board member. And I'll answer the kitchen utensil one. So what kitchen utensil I'd be? I would be I'd probably be chopsticks because okay, I am Asian, but the thing about chopsticks is that they're like so convenient. Once you get used to them and once you like use them for so long, you can use them for anything. You can use them to mix food. Who needs a whisk? You can use it to pick up food. Who needs a spoon? You can use it to pick up noodles. Who needs a fork? Like I literally use chopsticks with everything, and I feel like I'm just a very reliable person, like chopsticks are. So that's my explanation. So feel free to share in the chat. We can read it out loud. Uh, welcome, Alex. You'd be a spoon. I mean, I just dissed the spoon right now. Whoops. So anyone else want to share either in the chat or unmute themselves?
Can I go? Can I go next? My name is Pilar. My preferred pronouns are she, her. In the organization I'm a part of it with Peer Health Exchange, and I'm a youth advisory board member. And I think with the type of bread I am, I would go with like Mexican bread, pan dulce, like a concha. I think that's how I would describe myself.
Thank you, Pilar. Thank you to everyone that's answering. Thank you. You could do, there's two sport people here. Sporks. I haven't used those in so long. Oh, wow. So everyone seems really, really accomplished here, or are really accomplished. And yeah, I'm really glad. And a lot of variety of different kitchen utensils. I'd be chopsticks too. That's so great. Thank you everyone that's introducing themselves. Continue to read each other's responses in the chat. I want to welcome everyone. I appreciate you all sharing in the chat and answering such interesting questions. The air fryer one. Yeah, the air fryer is very versatile. So we're gonna move on. Thank you so much. And this is our second part of our icebreaker. So hot takes. So what are your positions on these controversial questions? So first, does pineapple belong on pizza? And you can either unmute and defend or reject it, or you could type in the chat and have like a chat war. Um, but for me, I do not like pineapple on pizza. It is terrible. Why would you mix salty and sweet together? It does not taste good. Just saying. Yeah. Thank you. There's people here that do not like pineapple pizza. Oh no. Okay, there's one person that likes it. Why not? Mint chocolate chip. Okay, I my hot take on mint chocolate chip ice cream is literally it tastes like toothpaste. Like, why would you want to eat toothpaste? You can might as well just lick of Colgate toothpaste, and I that tastes exactly the same. Kayla, I see you shaking your head. You want to defend it?
Literally, okay, first of all, pineapple does belong on pizza because I agree with it. Like the ham, sometimes you get ham and pineapple and it's like salty and sweet, hella good. But literally, it does not taste like toothpaste. I don't know what toothpaste you be brushing with, but it does not taste like toothpaste. It's so good. But if you do have mint chocolate chip, you have to have the green one. The white one is not it. Don't ever eat the white one. It's fake chocolate chip.
Fruits should not be warm. Exactly. Why would you eat warm fruit? Hello? Helen says you always look too. You are right, Helen. Thank you. Thank you, everyone that's having. I think we started a little something here, but it's okay. That's the fun of it. And last one, cats or dogs. Um, I'm a cat person. I love all animals, but I'm really more of a cat person because my piano teacher, I would go to her house and I would play piano and then I would practice piano. And then the cat, she had like 7 cats and they would like come lie next to me when I'd play piano or like they'll lie on top of the piano or sometimes they'll walk on the keys. So it's pretty cute. I love cats more because that happened. But yeah, oh yeah, we do, Audrey. We're besties, right? Best friends. Cats are great, dogs are too much energy. Yep. So thank you everyone for participating in these hot takes. Hopefully that made the mood a lot more happier, more welcoming and open. And I feel like you all are ready, fired up to learn more about what we're gonna talk about. So thank you so much. So I'm gonna introduce myself first. So my name is Brandon Nguyen. I'm attending UCLA in the fall. I'm a psychology and education major. I'm also doing human bio and society. My hobbies are like reading and playing video games. I'm a peer health exchange youth advisory board member. I was a member of the curriculum and evaluation subgroup of peer health exchange. So I helped basically like help evaluate the curriculum and evaluate our internal programs and report that. I did put my contact information there. Feel free to email me or add me if you have any questions regarding anything that I do or what after this presentation, if you have any other questions. So we'll introduce Pilar next.
Hey guys, my name is Pilar. My pronouns are she, her, and I will be attending the University of California, Santa Cruz this fall. And my majors are psychology and sociology. And some of the hobbies I enjoy is playing sports, volunteering, and community service. And the position I held was within the Peer Health Exchange. I was a youth advisory board member. And if you guys want to contact me with any questions or if you guys want any information about anything, here's my email. So feel free to reach out.
So hi, my name is Kayla Bertel. My pronouns are she, her. I will be attending SF State with my major undeclared. I'm so lost. I don't know what to do yet. But my hobbies, I love to listen to music. It's so nice, and I like to paint while doing it. My positions were peer health exchange, student board, and then you guys can follow me on Instagram, and there's my email.
Sounds great. Thank you. So Pilar, you want to take this away?
Yeah, so I want to give you guys a little moment to pause and read this for a little bit and see why we exist, but I will be reading our history of Peer Health Exchange. So since 2003, Peer Health Exchange had provided over 168,000 high school students with quality health education taught by over 15,000 college volunteers in high school across Boston, Chicago, Dallas, Denver, Detroit, Los Angeles, New York, and the San Francisco Bay Area and Stockton. So here's a little bit about why we exist, our history, and whenever you guys are ready and finish reading this, just give me a thumbs up and so we can keep moving forward.
I'll give about another minute. I see a few thumbs up already. Okay, sounds good. So we're gonna move on. So Kayla, you want to explain our peer health education model?
Okay, so our peer health education model, it all starts with the college students that are across the country. They're trained to teach health education workshops in high schools. So basically, if you have like an O period or something, they'll come in and then they'll teach you health, and then that's like your health period. But high school students collaborate with peer health exchange staff to design, evaluate, and advise on health education for the youth. High school students represent youth voice in external engagements with other youth and or organizations.
Thank you, Kayla. So this is our mission and our vision. So we want to build healthier communities with young people. Together, we create education opportunities for peers to share the tools and resources young people need to make healthy decisions. And vision, our vision is that with our partners, we seek to advance health equity and improve health outcomes for young people and under-resourced communities. So the reason for this presentation today is to really spread awareness about how we as young people can continue to advance health equity and improve health outcomes for young people. So one of those opportunities was like the youth advisory board. So you're probably wondering a lot. I saw a lot of you were part of youth advisory councils or youth advisory boards. So basically for PHE, we're made up of high school youth all across from California, as you saw, and we help advise peer health exchange on how to make their programs better, relevant, impactful, helpful, and meaningful for students. So we'll get into our presentation where you get to learn more about what it really requires and what it really means to be a student leader, to be part of like youth advisory boards and having a seat at the table, and how to impact other people's lives. So really quick, we're going to launch a poll before we get started. And we're basically going to ask, do you feel like your voice as youth are valued and sought out by organizations? So do you feel like you're listened to? Do you feel like you you feel like they actually want you to speak and they want you to hear you out and seek your advice as youth, we'll give a few we'll give you a few minutes or like a minute or so for that. So feel free, answer yes, no, maybe unsure sometimes. Okay, so sometimes, does anyone want to quickly, we can have a little quick discussion about this. So does anyone have anything to say about this question? Why did you say sometimes? Maybe why did you answer the way you did? Either in the chat or out loud.
I can answer super quickly. I feel like it depends on the organization. There are a lot of organizations where I feel like they view young voices kind of like the problem student, like they're too outspoken and they want to change too many things. So they kind of don't really value our opinions as much as grassroots organizations that are more collaborative. So it really depends on the establishment.
Thank you, Audrey. Yeah, so definitely definitely depends on the organization because there's a lot of organizations out there that really just ignore youth. And I like what Dakota said, where they listen to what I have to say, but nothing changes. And that's something that's really big. That's a really big issue and a really big thing that happens in a lot of organizations where they do seek out advice, but then nothing changes, or they don't believe, or they take for granted the youth's voice and what they recommended. So that's definitely something that's important. And Alexandria mentioned, I feel like they sometimes want statistics more than change. Definitely. Statistics is really what helps drive like marketing and business, right? So, but honestly, youth voice is so much stronger and you can continue to advocate for whatever you're passionate about, and you will get involved somehow even if they just want statistics. I feel like you can catalyze more change by just continuing to voice your opinions, that you're not just part of the statistic. You're going to be voicing your opinions and really going out there. So thank you to everyone that did answer the poll question. So we will get started with our content. So Pilar is going to be teaching you all this section.
Okay, guys, so really quickly, as you all know, my name is Pilar, and I will be leading the agency training and resources portion of this presentation. So we go to the next slide. So health resources at school, local organizations, and more. So when it comes to finding health resources or any type of resources, it sometimes requires you to go out and look for them. Or sometimes they could like be right there when you need them to be. And so furthermore, finding resources can sometimes require you to be vulnerable because you're looking for answers to things you don't have the answers to. And also, I really quickly want to go back to what I said about how sometimes resources will be right there when you need them to be. Is another way to kind of put it or see it is that health resources or resources in general are like already readily accessible. Like, for example, at your school's health center, there are always like flyers and information about various resources you could take advantage of. And you could also look into like your local community organizations. They always have several like um, resources that are able to help you out as well. And another thing I also wanted to point out is that don't be scared to seek out for resources for help because that's what they are there for. They're there to help, assist you, and satisfy you with your needs and wants. And we'll go to the next slide. And I kind of want you all to pull out your phones and like we did in the beginning, I hope you all scan the QR code because I'm going to be presenting you all with the health resources of our old called Self-See. And Brandon explained to it a little bit in the Brandon explained it to us a little bit in the beginning, but I want to kind of go in depth with it a little bit. And so Self-See is a digital app developed by youth to support their mental health. And this platform provides you with self-identity affirming resources. And I hope you all pulled out your phones to kind of explore the app a little bit. And it's really easy to access. All you have to do is scan the QR code, answer a few questions about what you would like more information about for yourself. And after you have answered the questions, it will provide you with a personalized video and many helpful resources. And after that, you could continue to the next steps. And I don't know if you guys saw it on the app, but Selfie is able to provide you with support, resources, and stories from young people who have been there. It really like helps you create a sort of empathy within you and the people who are providing you with the resources. And just give me a thumbs up when you guys have explored the app a little bit and we could get moving forward.
So yeah, this is definitely something you can explore on your own. It is a very great resource and it's a great supplement to a lot of the stuff you're learning at the Be the Change, as well as just extra resources that you may not have accessible to you currently, or maybe just need a safe space that you may not have as well. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll just give you
Thank
another
you.
minute.
Okay. Now we could go ahead and move forward. So here are some takeaways. So when you seek out resources, you are actually developing a skill and a behavior that is important for self-education and your independence. It is a benefit for yourself and your future. So this is like a skill that will be useful for you on the long run. And the skills being resourceful can be applicable even outside of health. Like I mentioned, it's like really universal. And um, so an example of one outside of health is when I was like going to a new chapter of my life, such as college, there were many resources I had used from my college and career center at my school. And that kind of ties in how like resources are readily accessible because it was like at my school. And because of those resources, they have helped me along the way and answered many questions I had and made me feel less alone and reassured. And that's like the beauty of resources. As I said, they could be right in front of you and readily accessible. And all it takes for you is to make one move. It's just like go out there and explore. And using these resources helped me gain knowledge that is beneficial for me. And it allowed me to share these resources with other people. And I hope that after you guys hearing me out, that you all can go seek out the many different types of resources available, either in person, in like at school or local organizations, and even online that you are able to share with others. And that's about it. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Pilar. So first, you guys learned about training and resources and on getting the knowledge yourself and really being able to absorb the knowledge yourself. So now you're going to learn how to put it to use with Kayla.
So I'm going to be talking about advocacy, which is basically having a seat at the table, feedback, and leadership. Okay, sorry. So what is having a seat at the table? Having a seat at the table is a way of saying that you have a voice that matters and you're part of a bigger conversation. For me, having an example at a seat at the table was being part of Peer Health Exchange. Being a part of Peer Health Exchange was really positive. I really did feel like they were hearing my voice and I saw my ideas going farther. So that really proved to me that they were looking for what I was saying and that they wanted my feedback. So next slide, please. So as I said, that it was really nice, a secure environment, and everyone was able to share their own opinions, and it was really nice to have like a whole group conversation where you could bounce ideas off of each other. And one thing is, if you don't feel like your voice is being heard or that you can express yourself with the company or the program, that wait, sorry. I'm so sorry. The kids are kind of being loud. That if you do feel like your voice is not being heard or that you can't express yourself in the program, maybe you could talk to the program or leave the program and find something else that is better for you and will get your voice heard. So next slide, please. So as I said before, you can either leave the program or you could make your own. So in school, you can make a club and you can start like that. So even though you may be lost or confused where to begin, developing your ideas in once is a start. So before making a club, think about what you want. It all starts with you. You guys are the new generation. It's all your ideas, everything. So just start putting your ideas out there, find the people you can bounce ideas off of, like I did at Peer Health Exchange, and start the movement. And then next slide. So the takeaways is that your voice is the strongest. It's your decision. If you feel comfortable in the program, then you can stay there. If you don't, then you can move on and find something else that's better for you, and find something that your ideas will really be pushed forward. You're the start of the new generation. It's all up to you guys. You guys are making the ideas. Thank you. Bye.
So I'll just do the question of the day. So, so in chat after this discussion, what are some ways that you can use your voice about issues you're passionate about? So in the chat or muting yourself, you can just mention things that you're passionate about and how you're taking steps to really use your voice in order to raise awareness about them. So does anyone want to start first? So I guess I'll start. So for me, one thing I'm really passionate about is college higher education equity and accessibility. So I come from a community where a lot of our students are first generation, low income. A lot of them are English language learners. So a lot of the times, a lot of these students have dreams of going to higher education, but there's so many systemic barriers that are in the way that prevent them from reaching higher education. So the ways that I use my voice is that I told my school, like, hey, we need more college counseling resources. And, they didn't listen to me. So I decided to start my own program at our school that provides college information. So that's something that I was passionate about, and how I took steps and used my voice to raise awareness about issues that I was passionate about. Is anyone else want to go? It can be about anything, especially since we're talking about gaining resources and being able to put them to use. Chat. If you put in the chat, I will read it out loud. So Isabel said, I'm trying to get our school in the state more involved in mental health resources. Definitely, that's super important. Alex, I've been using my love for film to make videos that spread awareness about mental health. That's amazing. Helen says, network, reach out to people to make connections so our voice can reach to a larger audience for mental health. That sounds amazing. Melodies, I am passionate about children's rights. Definitely. I'm working with UNICEF. Wow. I started the UNICEF club at my high school. Through this club, our club works together to educate, advocate, and fundraise to support children's rights and also UNICEF. Wow, these are so amazing. I'm so happy to see all your passions, and it's really inspiring to me and all of us. So Audrey said, I use my voice to demand radical change, exposing issues that are often swept under the rug by oppressive bodies that are on a way to garner immediate attention and support, whether it be through mutual aid or through gradual legislative changes. Definitely. Dakota is mentioning that they live in a community where many underserved families live. So at that clinic that they work at, I seek population disparities and just start projects on my own. Definitely. I then present them in our weekly meetings, and I also started at YAC so youth can have a voice. Alexandria says, I've been making flyers for outreach or resources with those who are in foster care or in state care, definitely in my region. Y'all are so, yeah, they definitely are, Pilar. So I really give you all a clap, like round of applause, really round of applause to all of you, that you all so young have already found things that you can use your voice about and really are passionate about. So I'm really glad that all of you are being able to put that to use. So now that we learned from Pilar and Kayla about all being able to educate yourself with resources, going out to seek resources, and having a seat at the table, what can you do once you have a seat at the table, or you're starting your own organization, or you're trying your best to impact or do the work that you love? So I just have a really quick activity. So I want you all to take out a piece of paper. It can be printer paper, line paper, graph paper, random piece of paper. And then I want you to use a drawing utensil, crayon, pen, pencil, or whatever. And then try your best to create a tree with roots, a trunk, and branches. So that little picture up at the top right is basically what I kind of want to see, with the roots, the trunk, and the the leaves, the things at the top. The roots will represent your background, your community, and where you come from. So write anything that represents your background. So that can be your race, ethnicity, name of your community, your school, anything that really represents you and where you come from. And then the trunk will represent you. So write your name on the trunk and maybe write some positive characteristics that you do have or things you want to improve about yourself. And then the branches, so the top leaves and branches, will represent your goals and topics you're passionate about to make your community better. So feel free to write any goals, passions, and ambitions in those branches. Also, you can write issues that you would like to address. So a lot of you did already write a lot of the issues that you'd like to address in Kayla's discussion question. So I'll give you all about how fast can you all draw a tree? I, it doesn't have to be a nice looking tree. I'm not expecting like Picasso art or anything. So I'll give you all about, I think 5 minutes is fair, right? Right. And I'll check in with you all in 5 minutes. So I want you all to just really connect with yourself and really understand where you come from, who you are, and what you want to achieve, and what goals you have, and what you want to bring awareness about. So I'll give you about 5 minutes starting now. It's about 2 minutes left. 2 minutes. So about a minute left. So feel free, just write as many things that come into your mind that describe any of those things on the screen. And we have about a minute left. Okay, so hopefully everyone finished their trees. Is everyone good? Give me a thumbs up if you're all good with your trees. Sounds good. Sounds good. Looks good. Okay. So we're gonna now reflect on our tree. So I either you can reflect on it quietly and you just to yourself, or you can answer it out loud. And if you want to answer out loud, feel free to show it on your camera. Show us your tree, even if it's like the ugliest tree ever, or if it even doesn't even look like a tree, it's fine. My tree doesn't look like a tree either. So literally you can just show us, we won't judge, but we really want to hear what stands out to you and how really are you connected to your community. So how do you value both where you come from and how you're going forward and how you may be going back and helping your community. So I'll go first. So this is my, oh no, my background, I have to turn that off. Choose original background. Okay, there you go. So here's my tree, very ugly tree, and you probably can't read the writing. But at the bottom, I put like my identity, which I'm Asian American, I'm Vietnamese, I'm from the San Fernando Valley, California, from Los Angeles. I put my name of my old high school there because that's where I grew up, pre-K through 12. And then I put my name in the middle, and I put that I am optimistic, I'm caring, I'm fun. Hopefully, I'm fun. I don't know. I don't know if I am, but and I'm very passionate and I'm very empathetic. And then for my goals in the future, I really want to help advance education equity, health education equity, higher education access, public policy, immigrant rights, and human rights, things like that. And really, now that I reflect on it, a lot of the things that I want to, a lot of these goals and issues that I'm passionate about are all connected to where I came from, right? Uh, Asian American immigrants tend to have the highest amount of undocumented people, things like that. And I want to help that community in some way. I also want to go back to my San Fernando community and help with education equity, which is something that's a really big issue within my community as well. So this is basically how my tree works. So the purpose of this exercise was just to really see where you stand with how you collaborate and how you are making these goals and these like amazing things. You're accomplishing so many amazing things that you're passionate about and how it connects back to your community. So does anyone else want to share their tree? Anyone? Anyone?
I'll go.
Yeah.
I would like to share my tree. Mine's not the best as Brandon's, but I also did like a tree. I wrote like all over it. In the bottom, I put that I'm Hispanic, Mexican American. I'm in the Hayward community, and I also grew up in Oakland. So that's where I put myself as. I put myself as first generation, caring, selfless, and I consider myself as chill. So this is all for my roots, and um, for my goals, I put obviously graduate college, and kind of similar to Brandon, I put education for all because, and I also put like mental health and help prevent substance abuse because that's kind of like what I've been doing over the past 3 years and basically helping others. And I hope that with my knowledge, I'm able to help others and become like a community college counselor someday to help others like achieve their goals of going to college and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I put for my tree.
Pilar. Anyone else wants to go? Oh, I just opened the participant list and I see Gojo. Nice. I like your profile picture, Helen. Anyone else want to share their tree?
I can go.
Yeah.
I have this. And at the bottom, I just wrote about how I'm Filipina, I'm an immigrant, I'm a part of the LGBTQ community, and like my school at UMass. And then for some qualities, just that I'm really ambitious and caring and driven. And for some of my goals, that I want to work on reproductive justice and especially like global women's health, because I want to be an OBGYN, but also that I'm really interested in tackling climate change and reducing corporate carbon emissions and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think a lot of it does tie back down to my roots.
Thank you so much, Audrey. I saw someone with their hand up. Do you also want to share?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, sounds good.
Y'all probably can't see the writing, but I tried to draw it over in Sharpie. So this is my tree. I have in my roots that I'm Hispanic and white. I'm from New York. I go to SUNY Plattsburgh, which is like 45 minutes away from the Canadian border, all the way up there in New York. I'm gonna be a senior this year, and my major is poli sci, so I put that with that. I like to swim. That's something that I really like to do. That's like a goal of mine to get better at swimming. Um, I have a big family. My favorite color is purple. And for the branches, I put that I want to be somewhere in the political field. I'm not sure yet. And I know that I just want to help people. So that's what I put here for these two branches. And then I also put that I hope COVID goes away soon. Hopefully in like 5 or 10 years or even maybe sooner. Who knows? So I put that as one of my goals because it's a problem. And then I put I want to attend grad school and get a car because who doesn't want a car for better transportation? So that's what I put. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. All of you, y'all all have amazing trees. It made my tree kind of look sad, not gonna lie. So I'm gonna go hide this somewhere else. So thank you so much. So the whole purpose of this, like I said, is just to remind yourself about what work you're doing and how it really, where you came from, how you grew as a person, from your roots and your background. I think that's something that's really important, that because your community are the people that shape you, and they're usually the people that you really want to help. So that's why we're going to learn about peer leadership models. So really what you want to do as a peer leader is not just to be like, hi, I'm a peer leader. I want to go out there and help. You go out there and help, but then you're not really going back and trying to help truly the people that you want to help in your community. Because sometimes people take on leadership roles and they do nothing with them. They just have the title. So what we want to ensure from this presentation is that, like our near peer model, that you as a near peer are helping the people closest to you and helping the people that you really care about. So these are just some simple steps to building a peer leadership model for you all to get involved into your communities, where you can gather a group of interested youth and adults to help you build a model, like something you're passionate about. So like Audrey said about global health, what I said about immigrant rights, or what I said about what talking about helping people and things like that. Just being able to find interested people to join and form a group is very important. Then creating an outline of your impact, purpose, mission, in order to really understand where you're coming from, what you want to do, and what you want to achieve. And it's not something that you have to follow like exact. So get youth and adult buy-in, really reach out to people and say like, hey, this is what I'm doing. We'd love for you to join or help us in any way possible. And then also find resources like what Pilar and Kayla were educating you all on. Find resources on your own to help you receive training, gaining more resources, creating connections, and gaining more knowledge in the field you focus on. So put yourself out there, network with more people, find more resources from those other people, and really just be able to expand your knowledge on the field further in order to be a better ally and a better advocate. And then 5 is just disseminating the information to your youth peers. One big thing about the near peer model that we use in peer health exchange is that these are close in age college students to the youth, where there's only 2 year difference in age, and we really get to relate with them. And then they also get to share a lot of current information in order to take action and engage with the communities and organizations. So you really want to be able to measure your impact. So when you go out there and you do these leadership roles and you use the resources that you gathered and you have a seat at the table, you want to use that seat at the table and knowledge. You don't want to keep it to yourself. I know you can just keep it to yourself and just move on with your life, but no, really the purpose of being a peer leader, to have a voice, is that you're not just voicing for yourself, you're voicing for so many other people. So make sure you're passionate about it, not for a resume or college application. Consistently engage with youth and community members to see how your work is impacting them. So that could be through surveys, interviews, reflections, small conversations, asking for feedback, reflect and address any issues, and then asking for advice from your advisors, other youth and or adults, and being sensitive and aware to your community's needs and how you can help. So these are all different ways that you can impact your community to be a better leader, and to know like you should go back to your roots and really reflect on how you can maybe you can really impact and help your community in so many different ways. So and also by being a near peer, you can also educate the next generation of leaders that are going to be out there to make those changes, to help you make those changes that you really want to see. So that was it for our presentation. So it was a small buildup from just getting those resources, getting that knowledge, then getting that seat at the table, then finding those leadership positions and finding that voice. And then finally at the end, coming back to your community and impacting it and trying to make steps to be able to really benefit and improve your community. So we've basically reached the end. Now it's just like reflections and a Q&A. So you can either answer one of these reflection questions. So what are your next steps as a youth leader? Or what's one piece of advice or information from this presentation that you use in your own life? And then if you have any other questions for us, we would love to answer them as well. So you can feel free to unmute yourself or type in the chat. Any questions? Anyone want to answer any questions, or you can answer them through the chat, or you can also ask us questions. Anything works. So for me, after watching a lot of, I went to some of the sessions. I couldn't make it to all of them, sadly, because I had other meetings. But from going to those first sections, I really learned a lot about transitioning, how to really be empathetic of other people transitioning through different parts of their life. So that was a really great one for me. My next steps include looping in younger students to make sure their initiatives and I start for sustainability to be continued for many years. Definitely, you know, being a peer leader, being a peer model, is really important when you're basically educating the next generation of leaders and getting them started as early as possible so they have more time to grow and adapt and to really improve themselves. So thank you, Audrey, for sharing. Dakota says, how long do you think I should be really before diving into research and volunteering when at the Youth Advisory Council, kind of considering that youth buy-in? How do you think that should be? Oh, so like icebreakers and introducing yourself. So I think like what we found was really useful is like those weird questions. So like oh, what type of bread are you? Like what are you supposed to say? Like I don't know. I have to really think about that. I can say garlic bread. I can like what Kayla said, sourdough. I think those are really good, and I think like you should do them every time, every day. It can be as simple as those small questions, or it can be as simple as just like, or maybe just check-in questions about social emotional check-in questions. That's really important as well. You know, I think icebreakers are useful for all, doing research and volunteering, getting to know each other, even if you know each other really well. That's what we did in Youth Advisory Board at PHE. We did icebreakers every single day. So Sarah says, I'll keep the advice that your voice is strongest because based on what you say, you can really persuade. Yep, definitely. You can, if one person will listen to you, there will be someone that listens to you somewhere. You just got to keep voicing your opinion, right? Have you ever experienced setbacks in your advocacy work, and how do you react, and how do you pick ourselves up on that? Does anyone want to answer that question first, or I can answer that from Helen? So yeah, so Helen, one of my setbacks was I actually got in trouble by my school administration for sending an email wanting to meet with one of the administrators. And he said that I was very rude in my tone. And all I said, I literally just said, I hope you're doing well. I hope your kids are doing well. I just wanted to meet with you. And then he got butthurt, and then he emailed my principal, and my principal didn't get me in trouble, but he tried to get me in trouble. So things like that can really discourage you. But honestly, so you're gonna meet people that you don't really they honestly, you're gonna meet a lot of people that you don't really agree with, or they don't have the same attitude as you, or they're just rude. Honestly, it's just ignore them and just try to find other avenues of getting that work. But there's no such thing as being too pushy. There is, where it's like you're being disrespectful of people's time, where it's like, oh, like I really need to meet with you, like it's super important, like I don't care about your schedule, I need to meet with you now. Things like that. That's a little, but being as simple as like maybe sending a follow-up email a week after and being like, hey, can I meet with you? I sent you this email last week, I would like to get a response. That's not pushy at all. I don't mind that. I get emails like that all the time too. So yeah. So to do always what you're passionate about, thank you, Melody. That is very important as well. So if there's no other questions or comments, I'm really glad that you all enjoyed this. That is the end of our presentation. This is our contact information if you do need it. We have our Instagrams, we have our emails, and if afterward you have any other questions for us, or starting your own organizations. I've started a few clubs and organizations at my school. I have a lot of experience with the bad, with the good and the bad. But honestly, we're all here to help support each other. And if there any ending words from Kayla or Pilar?
Yeah, really quickly, I just wanted to say thank you all for meeting with us today and for hearing us out today. And I really hope that you all learned something today and apply it to y'all's lives. And I mean, based on like the chat and like what all you guys are doing, it's really amazing to see that we have an amazing generation coming up, and like to see what y'all are going to do in the future. Like we're in such good hands, and I'm really excited for you guys and how you guys will use what you learned today in your future and your lives.
I just wanted to thank everyone for coming, and it's so amazing to see that you guys are so passionate about what you're doing, and that you really want to make change. And I just think it's so amazing that you guys are so young and you're already doing so much. But thank you for coming today.
Yeah, so thank you everyone again. I don't think they even learned anything new from here. Like they're all accomplished leaders. Like what was I even teaching? I was just teaching the same thing.